I've been thinking about the uncanny episode of the Sandown Clown all week, not in the least because just a few weeks before I did my very own video on the Sandown Clown. But I think it's because one of the biggest arguments that skeptics use in that case, and many more like it involving children, is that it can just be a case of children's imaginations, shared hallucinations, or a hoax. But there is a slight flaw in that logic. If a child sees something terrifying that they can't explain and they tell an adult and that adult laughs at them or doesn't believe them, then what can that child do? Realistically, they could grow up haunted by what happened to them. In the tragic case of the Sandown Clown, it's hard to tell what happened, given that sadly those memories have now been lost. But in cases like the Enfield haunting and the Cottingley Fairies, I have to ask, did the children decide to fight back? Maybe there was something real that they then hoaxed just because they wanted to give the adults exactly what they wanted. Proof. So let's talk about the Cottingley Fairies then, because everyone knows that these photographs were in fact faked. Elsie Wright and Francis Griffiths, the two children involved, admitted after 60 years that they were in fact just cardboard cutouts out of a magazine that were pinned to bushes. This case was believed to have been closed back in the 80s, so that's that, right? Well, no, because like I say, the reason that they faked them, maybe that's the most uncanny part of the whole story. In her memoirs, Reflections, Francis Griffiths makes a distinction that most people tend to miss. She admitted that the photos were in fact a prank, but until her very dying day, she insisted that she did actually see fairies. She said that Cottingley Beck was absolutely full of them. But when she told her parents, they laughed. When she told her teachers, they told her to stop lying. So the photos weren't the start of the story at all. Maybe they were in fact the last desperate attempt for the girls to actually get someone to believe what they were seeing every day. Maybe they used paper to translate a spiritual experience into a physical one. Because we do have this, the fifth photo. And oddly, this is one that experts to this day still can't agree on. It's not a crisp cutout like the others. It's blurred, it's messy, and Francis claimed that it might actually be the only photograph that captured the real fairies. The ones that she described as being transparent butterfly-like beings. So if you look at history, maybe this isn't just kids being kids. We also have to look at the fact that for centuries, adult, sane people have reported seeing the exact same things. Reverend Robert Kirk in 1691 wrote about a secret commonwealth of beings living in liminal spaces. And allegedly, the Fairy Investigation Society has hundreds of modern accounts from people who have absolutely nothing to gain from lying and who are completely mentally stable. So just like the Sandown Clown, we're left with a bit of a choice here. Yes, it is so easy to dismiss. The story seems so crazy, so out of this world. So what do we think? Is it down to a child's imagination and a genuine belief that they have seen what they think they've seen? Is it just maybe that children are sophisticated liars who can somehow maintain a secret for 70 odd years without any kind of financial gain? Or could it be that children are simply more tuned into things that as adults we've trained ourselves to ignore? Francis Griffiths said that the fairies were as real as the rocks in the stream. The photos may have been fake, but the experience was real. So I'm asking you, do you think we could sometimes be dismissing the uncanny simply because it's impossible or too out of this world in our minds? Or could it be that we are just too old to see it? Let me know in the comments what you think. Team hoax or Team Francis?